4, so we are going to go ahead and look at our slide and get a white blood cell count. And so the first thing we're going to do is place our slide on. Go ahead and get over to our edge. Okay, and then we're just going to go ahead. Ready? Okay, so we just want to make sure that everything looks good and that we've got a good focus. So the first thing we're going to do is under 40x, we're going to look at 10 fields and make a count of how many white blood cells we see in 10 fields. So we're going to go ahead and pause our video and count our 10 fields, and then we will be right back. Okay, so we have looked at our 10 fields. So what we're going to do is add up all of the total white blood cells that we've seen. Okay, so we have a total of 70 for every 10 fields, so we're going to divide that by 10, which is going to give us our average of 7. Okay. So to get our estimated white blood cell count, we are going to take the average number per field, so that's going to be 7, and then we are going to times that by 2,000. So it's going to give us 14,000 UL for the blood, and then we're going to go ahead and switch over to our 100x. And so then what we are going to do is look at our slide until we have 100 white blood cells, and then we will be back. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and find our last white blood cell. So we're going to go ahead and mark that on our sheet here. So now what we're going to do is we are going to get the white blood cell differential. So we're going to add up each one of our white blood cells and get our percentage. So we would just take, like we have 2 eosinophils, so we would divide that by 100, which gives us 2%. And then our band neutrophils, we're going to have 3%. Monocytes is 12%. 22% for the lymphocytes. 61% for the neutrophils. So that gives us our differential. So now the next thing that we want to do is get our absolute value. So what we're going to do is take our percentage in each one of our categories, and we're going to turn that into a decimal point, and then we are going to multiply that by our 14,000 from our estimated white blood cell count. So the first thing we're going to do is it's going to be 0.61 times 14,000. Which is going to give us 8,540 ULs of blood. And then our next one is going to be 0.22 times 14,000. Going to give us 3,080 ULs of blood, and then 0.12 it's going to give us 1,680 ULs of blood, and then 0.3 going to give us 4,200 ULs of blood, and then 0.2 times 14,000. It's going to give us 2,800 ULs. Okay, So now that we have all of that, the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and get our platelet count. So we're going to look at 10 fields and see how many platelets we have, and then we're going to do that under 100 power, and then we will be back to do the math. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and mark down the last of our platelets on our paper here. So then what we're going to do is we need to get our total platelet count. So we're going to take the number of platelets we've seen in 10 fields, which is 16, and then we are going to multiply that by 15,000. So that's going to give us 240,000 ULs of blood. So then that gives us all of our numbers, our estimated white blood cell count under 40x, the white blood cell differential under 100x, and then the absolute value and our platelet count. So we're going to go ahead and come over to the computer and kind of look at some of the white blood cells that we're seeing. So we're seeing lymphocytes, monocytes, and then there's neutrophils, eosinophils, and basophils. So those are some of the things that we would be looking for when we're looking at our slides. And that's the end of our task.